Congratulations, Hill and Levene graduates and First Nations University business graduates. While COVID prevents us from congratulating you in person, it will not stop us from celebrating you and your accomplishments today. Congratulations to each and every one of you. With unexpected change and crisis, we build a newfound resilience, and that resilience will serve you well in the next chapters of your professional and personal lives. Today we celebrate nearly 40 Levene graduates and 290 Hill graduates. I want to express a special congratulatory wish to EMBA valedictorian Brent Maximew, also to the Dean's Medal winner Owen Cott, and the Leon Goldman Scholarship winner Evan Dukidd. Your commitment to academic excellence and your leadership is an inspiration to all of us. Welcome everyone to Hill and Levene's graduation ceremony. This certainly isn't a conventional way to celebrate you today, but COVID, despite all of the challenges that we have faced during COVID, we decided that COVID was not going to stop us from celebrating all of you today. And we decided to do it in perhaps a less than conventional way. And we're delighted to be here, and I have several people joining me, whom I'm going to introduce in a few moments. I would also first like to acknowledge that the University of Regina and the Hill and Levene Schools of Business are located on Treaty 4 territory, and the University of Regina also has a presence on Treaty 6 territory. Treaty 4 territory is the homeland of the Cree, Dene, Lakota, Nakota, Dakota, Saulteaux, and Métis Nation. We give thanks to these groups for being stewards of this land for generations, and we acknowledge this land as providing for other Indigenous groups that moved through here as well. We are humbled by the opportunity to learn, live, grow, play, and work here, and we affirm our commitment to recognizing the historical and ongoing harms and to honoring the spirit of peace and friendship. Joining me today are three special people. First, I'd like to introduce Chief Cadmus Delorum, and Chief Delorum is Chief of Cowessess First Nations and also has a long link to the University of Regina, which we'll talk about in just a few moments. Chief Delorum has also just been re-elected for his second term as chief, and we couldn't be more delighted for him. I'm also joined by very recent or soon to be graduate of the Hill School of Business, Owen Cott. And Owen is also the medal award winner of the Dean's Medal for graduating students of Hill Schools of Business. So congratulations and welcome, Owen.
Thank you, Gina.
And last but certainly not least, we're also joined by Levene EMBA graduate or very soon graduate of Levene School of the EMBA program, Brent Maximew. And Brent is also the valedictorian of the Levene EMBA class, which is the student who has achieved the highest marks across their entire program. So welcome, Brent, and thank you for joining us.
Thanks, good morning.
All of you have, in many ways, different types of histories with the Hill and Levene Schools of Business. Brent and Owen, it's still very fresh for you. I'm curious, as you reflect on your time here in different ways, what stands out for you as kind of one of those moments where you still laugh about it? What stands out for you as one of those memories for your time here completing your degree? Brent, I'll start with you.
We were at the Apate University in Mexico City, and this is one of the, I think, top 20 business schools in the world. So a pretty amazing university to attend, and thank you for setting that up. And we were in a class, and the prof had asked us some questions, and one of our University of Regina students quoted Morgan Freeman to the prof, and the prof challenged the person on that quote a little bit. So he pulled out his phone to look up the quote and make sure he had it right. but Apate being the university that it is, they actually thought he was calling Morgan Freeman and getting him on the phone. So it was hilarious. The whole class just broke out in laughter, and was probably one of the funniest moments I can remember.
Chief DeLorme, you and I have had several conversations in the past around leadership and what it is to lead, and what it is to lead in our province and our country right now, and what it is as leaders we need to be doing to make a difference. Because not only are you a grad of the B.Admin program at First Nations University and our partner school, you also are in the process of completing your director's education program here through the Hill and Levene School, and a graduate of Johnson Shawama. So, I also know that you are a member of our board for the university, and so your connection to the university continues and goes on and on. What I'd like to know is, what do you want to tell our graduates who aren't walking across the stage today, but are with us today and are celebrating themselves and celebrating their accomplishments?
Crossing that finish line, it has a very emotional connection, and due to the circumstance of COVID, graduates are unable to go to the Center of the Arts and cross that finish line. But don't let that take away from the late nights, the emotional, the tears, the laughter, the best friends forever that you've made. Don't let that not crossing at the Center of the Arts take away. I reflect back when I get to speak in events like this, and I'm gonna go all the way back to when I started my undergrad. And everybody has to have purpose. You got to understand why you're doing what you're doing. And I joined First Nations University of Canada in 2008. And in my English class, the professor asked us to dissect a poem and put it back together. A Lament for Confederation. It just stumbled upon me accidentally, and Chief Dan George read it to Stanley Park on the 100-year centennial in 1967. And the poem really emotionally got to me because, just growing up on Cowsis and, loving Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada, I read this poem, and it talked about the history between First Nations and Canada. But at the end, it said, within 100 years, we will stand in the house of law, and we will do what our chiefs before us wanted us to do. And just that one little sentence is still my purpose today as a person who loves Saskatchewan. That in 1967, Chief Dan George in Vancouver spoke to over 300,000 people and said, within 100 years, my people, he says, and First Nations, and so I took it as he was speaking to me, will stand in the house of law, stand in a house, in a government house, and make our past chiefs proud. So that's my purpose. And I just wanted to share that in my beginning is everybody should have purpose. It's your mom and dad, your grandma and grandpa, your brothers and sisters, your friends that struggle, they might not have the opportunity that we have. So we must take that and use that as motivation. And so every day I wake up with that kind of purpose. I just wanted to mention that I learned as a chief that you get all these tools in your brain from accounting, from marketing, from supply chain management classes. You get all these amazing tools, and then you get thrown, and I always say get thrown to the wolves in reality, and then you gotta use your tools. And I just want to mention that you have different generations that you work with in the work world, and you must understand generations use these tools differently. So don't let your dreams and aspirations be dwindled by one person when you got 9 others in the office that might think. And how I break that down, and I always let new students know this that work for cows is our work in boards, is in the past, authoritative, almost military style was leadership. Currently, it's the brain. It's the ones that have the degrees and the ones that have the masters, and they're starting to really get the forth. In the future, it's going to be led by heart. And so we must adapt our what we got to understanding heart. And what I mean by that is compassion, understanding, truth. Today we got the Truth and Reconciliation calls to action. That's heart. There's 94 calls to action. We got the Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and Girls Inquiry, 234 calls to action. Currently, Black Lives Matters. There's a movement happening, and they call it an awakening, but to some it's just hitting the snooze button for over 50 years, and we must now address inequality. COVID-19, COVID-19 is going to change our lives for all we know it. And when we're old and sitting there on a golf course or having tea somewhere, when in 50 years, we're going to tell our grandkids, when we lived through COVID, we're living through something that is going to be talked about for generations. That's what I mean. It's heart. It's you must always lead by heart. One of the things I do personally is I leave things better than how I receive them. I'm sitting on the University of Regina board right now, and absolutely honor. I went to FNUC, I went to Paul Hill, I went to JSGS, I'm in Levene right now with ICD. Like, that place built me. And so this is my way of giving back. So I always want to try to leave things better than when I receive them. And you become a family. In years to come, you're going to be sitting in the meeting and all of a sudden someone's going to say something. You're going to be like, did you go to Paul Hill? And just that alone, you put your guard down and you're already family. You went to FNUC. I took a class at FNUC. You become family. Levene, JSGS. So, that family connection to University of Regina will always be there. And when you walk down that hall after you graduate and you look at the old pictures, not only do you see the different hairstyles from generations, but you also get to see pictures of people that you are going to meet, you have met, and, even kind of showing others that, your picture's on there. And the last thing I want to share is our generation today, we inherited a lot. The generations prior did their best. Governance, inequality, trying to make Canada an amazing place, Saskatchewan, but we also inherited a lot of challenges, and we must not overlook them. We must dissect them and put them back together, because if we don't, then we're going to hand it off to the next generation to figure out. And we don't want to do that. We're not only good looking in this generation, but we're also very smart and intelligent. And so don't be afraid to have the uncomfortable conversations.
Thank you very much, Chief DeLorme. Talk about those challenges, but also confronting those challenges. And as partners, is that we all share that responsibility to be able to move forward as partners, that I have to believe that we'll be able to move forward in a way that is constructive, and that we create a future that's better than our past. Thank you very much, Chief DeLorme, for those words. Thank you. Oh, and I've already said that, of course, while you were here on campus doing your degree, incredibly active in so many ways. You were the president of the Business Student Society and involved in endless ways, but on top of that, an exceptional student. And so, today you walk away as the Dean's Medal winner, and that award and that represents or acknowledges both your academic excellence, but also your leadership and also the impact that you have had on the university and your community during your time as a Hill student. What is it you want to share with the B.Admin and the BBA graduates today and our diploma students?
Definitely. Thank you, Gina. It's an honor to be recognized. And yes, first off, congratulations to all fellow graduates. We did it. It's the end, as Candace mentioned, it's the finish line. It might not seem like it really would when we envision it, but we're here. And obtaining a university degree is no small feat, and it's something that will last a lifetime. And although we all had unique experiences during our time at the Hill School of Business, we also shared some common experiences along the way as a graduating class. So in first year, we all made it through Business 100, and although it may have seemed challenging at the time, it was likely the kick in the butt we all needed to get our university kick-started. And also in first year, we were all introduced to what it is like to be a university student. So whether that's free mini donuts and beer gardens during welcome week, or having multiple final exams in a short stretch a day, or even one day for some of us, first year was one of great learning both inside and outside the classroom. This was also likely the first exposure many of us had to events hosted by student groups. So whether it was the Hill Dinner, Hill Case competition, or spring or winter galas, again, lots of professional and life lessons. Once Business 100 was completed, we moved on to the introductory courses in the different areas of business. Here's where we got to try out everything and learn what we liked, ultimately to choose a major. So if you like numbers, you're more inclined to choose finance or accounting. And if you like smooth jazz, you're more inclined to choose marketing. Once most or all of our introductory courses were finished, we started specialty courses to obtain our majors. This was probably the toughest stretch of academics, but I'd also like to say the most enjoyable for most of us, as we were able to focus our energy in a subject area that we enjoyed and felt we could get the most out of. This is also where many of us became involved in extracurriculars, whether it was the Hill BSS, JDC West, UR Investing, an Actus, a business club, or one of the other many opportunities. I could never list them all. We were able to further our practical learning while also having a little fun along the way by working and socializing with our fellow students. And now, after all that, we're here. And even though this is not the convocation celebration we envisioned while we were sitting in Business 100, I think that the challenge we face now will ultimately serve us well in the long game of life. We are starting a new chapter of our lives, and with that comes uncertainty. Just think back to how you felt going into your first year orientation. Everything was so new, uncertain, probably a bit scary. And then now, as a university graduate, think about what you would have told your first year self if you sat down for coffee with them prior to their first day. It'd probably be something like, you're going to make mistakes, get knocked down, but as long as you get back up and keep putting your best foot forward, you'll figure this thing out and have a bit of fun along the way too. So the advice you would give your first year self would not have only been relevant then, but is also just as relevant now as we move on to the next step of our lives. The great thing about business school is that it does not just teach you how to make accounting journal entries or find the present value of a payment you'll receive in the future, but it also teaches and furthers qualities like perseverance, determination, and ultimately the ability to respond to adversity, qualities that we will need moving forward in the world in front of us. So with that, I'd like to again congratulate my fellow graduates. The learning we have done here over the past number of years will last a lifetime. And so will the fact that you have a university degree, that's something that will be with you forever. So although it may not be as accessible as usual, make sure you still find some time to celebrate your success with your friends and family, following public health guidelines, of course. And thank you for a great 4 years, and I look forward to keeping in touch with all of you as Hill alumni and around the school.
Thank you, Owen, and congratulations. You deserve the recognition that you've received, but also I know that there's been so many of your colleagues who have benefited from your leadership, and those words are words that actually they will take forward as they move forward with their careers in the next chapters of their life. So congratulations, Owen, and congratulations to all Hill graduates. Today is a special day, so thank you.
This is an important milestone in your life, and your time here with us has been a significant part of your life story so far. Your credential shows that you have acquired hundreds of new competencies throughout your time here at the Hill School. You will be able to bring these new competencies to the world. In fact, you're likely already doing so, whether you realize it or not. We are so pleased to see you off as you embark on new challenges and new adventures. We are proud that we are part of your life story, and we are proud that you will always be part of ours.
Brent, you two are, I don't know if necessarily you're walking on air or not, but certainly lots to celebrate. You know, you have been acknowledged as the valedictorian of the EMBA class, and as I've said, that is quite an honor. This is an acknowledgement of your academic excellence. And today you've agreed to speak and address all of our Levene graduates. What is it you want to say to them, Brent?
Well, you know, I'd like to thank you for the honor for representing the graduates of the Kenneth Levene Graduate School of Business. A lot of my fellow graduates will probably tell you how much I like to get the last word in, so I really do appreciate this opportunity. On behalf of the graduates, I'd like to thank you, Dean Grandy, and the faculty and staff for all of your hard work on the programs and making them what they are. It truly is an excellent program to go through. We've seen you work tirelessly to capture feedback, adapt, change programs, and we're all academically richer because of it. To all of our advisors, we wouldn't have made it through our final papers without them. So thank you for your encouragement and support there. To my classmates, I wanted to say be proud of your accomplishment. Today really isn't the day for modesty. You've completed a program that takes an incredible amount of determination and sacrifice to make it through. I remember the first day. This is one of the things that sticks in my head from 2 years ago. The first day, a previous grad was brought in to impart some words of wisdom and help us through the next 2 years, or mentally prepare for the next 2 years. And one of the things they said was, "You'll be lucky if you have time to shower." And that one took me off guard a little bit. With that, I'd also like to thank the families that had to put up with our lack of showering over the last 2 years. At a minimum, a lot of the families probably had to take over a lot of the day-to-day activities that many of us could no longer do. You probably had to deal with a great deal of grumpiness as well, I think, at times. For example, and I'm making this one up just completely off the top of my head, when you get maybe a 33% on a pink tax case study, there's, I think, nothing like learning to fail early on in a program. So families, I really think, should probably have honorary MBAs for helping us through this time. One of my biggest takeaways from the program is just how important business and government are to our lives. COVID has reminded us how dependent we are on businesses for some of our most basic needs, and toilet paper is obviously what I'm talking about there. But these programs have developed a way of thinking in us that appreciates the complexities of these situations. And I think it's a really important skill to have in today's society. Governments are going to need the entrepreneurial spirit and experience in business that we have developed through this program. Businesses more than ever need the skills of MBAs to help them see the big picture and adapt. So I have no doubt that each and every one of you is going to have a significant impact in whatever you do going forward. With the pace that the world is changing and the significance of the challenges, no single one of us is going to be able to keep up. Like in school, we're going to have to ask for help and work together. And what a great thing that we've just gone through a program where we've made tons of contacts, lifelong friends, and they all have the skills and diversity that we're going to require to do what the world needs in the future. So on a final note, I wanted to say, cohort 13 was one of the greatest groups of people I could have ever asked for to go through this experience with. So congratulations again to the spring class of 2020.
Brent, thank you, and congratulations to you and all of our Levene graduates, and to all of those people who stand alongside you in the journey. Congratulations to you as well.
Hello, Levene graduates of 2020. Congratulations on achieving this significant milestone. We never anticipated celebrating your graduation in this manner. However, these are not ordinary circumstances. The COVID-19 pandemic has created an unprecedented disruption that has changed the way we live and do business. However, we are confident that the knowledge and skills that you've developed during your graduate studies will help you navigate through these challenges and create opportunities within the chaos for yourself, for the organizations that you serve, and the communities that you belong to. Best of luck.
When you talked about in a few short days, so to speak, you now are a graduate of the Hill School. Brent, you and your colleagues are graduates of the Levene School. And that means you've taken, I'll say, the next step. And I think Cadmus is someone who embodies this, that continues to have that connection with the university and with the Hill and Levene schools of business. And so your journey here doesn't end. We're staying right here, but also we have alumni associations for Hill, Levene, University of Regina, And I want to take a few minutes to acknowledge two of our alumni associations, so the Hill Alumni Association and the Levene Alumni Association, and to hear from the two leaders of those associations, Nicole and Chuck, who will share with us why you need to stay connected to the school.
Hi everyone, my name is Nicole Namath. I'm the president of the Hill Alumni Association and want to congratulate you on your graduation. Really exciting times, and all of your hard work has finally come to fruition, so congratulations. Please do stay in touch with the Hill Alumni Association. We are on Facebook and LinkedIn, so like us there and stay tuned for some future events that we're looking to have in person once again soon.
Well, I'm Chuck Sylvester. I'm the chair of the board of directors for the Levene Alumni Association. You can get in touch with us through LinkedIn, the U of R's website, or our Facebook page. Congratulations as well. And yes, please keep in touch with the Levene office as you, I guess, progress through your next stage in life. Please stay in touch and keep your contact information up to date so that we can get in touch with you.
Take care, everyone. Congratulations again.
As you've all indicated, this is a time to be proud of your hard work, proud of your accomplishments, and really be optimistic. So despite the challenging circumstances we face in many ways right now, I know as Dean of Hill and Levene Schools of Business, I'm incredibly optimistic given the people who surround me as students, now as new graduates, and that you people are out leading our communities to a better future. This is a time for celebration, and this is a time to celebrate all of you. On behalf of the Hill and Levene Schools of Business, all our staff, all our faculty, I want to congratulate each and every one of our graduates. My departing words are really this. A wise man just very recently said, know your purpose. Know your purpose. Know who it is you are and what impact you want to be able to have in your organization, in your home, in your community, in your province. Know your purpose and to lead with your heart. And I have no doubt that actually the future is bright if we can take those two pieces of advice as we move forward. Thank you to all of my guests who joined me today. Congratulations again, Brent and Owen, and congratulations to all Hill and Levene graduates. Enjoy the next steps in your journey. I want to thank each and every one of you for choosing Hill and Levene for your program. This is also a time when I'd like to thank the staff and faculty at the Hill and Levene Schools of Business for standing alongside of you and supporting you through your journey. Let's also reflect on those special people in your lives, your loved ones, your friends, your family, who have made sacrifices for you to be able to accomplish and complete your program. And so that we are here today celebrating you because of the support that they have provided to you. Thank you to all of them. Undoubtedly, this is not how you envisioned celebrating and marking this special occasion. But I can assure you, we aren't going anywhere at Hill and Levene Schools of Business. And when COVID passes, we will be here to welcome you back to our hallways and to welcome you back in your newfound role as alumni of Hill and Levene Schools of Business. Again, congratulations to all of you. Be well and be safe.